We have this from predictit.org. This is, of course, for those that don't know, it's a betting market where what we have here on the screen is who will win the 2024 Democratic presidential nomination. Joe Biden is sitting at 79 cents. Okay, that's out of $1. Gavin Newsom is at 12. Now, certainly people are generally believing that Biden will be the nominee. The way this works is the more you buy shares in this person, the higher the price goes. If you bought one share of Joe Biden at 79 cents, if he ends up the nominee, you get $1. If you buy one share of Gavin Newsom for 12 cents and he ends up being the nominee, you get $1. So basically you're getting like an 8 times return on your investment if you vote for Gavin Newsom. I think what we're seeing here and how this basically works, Hillary Clinton has moved up 2 cents to 6%. JB Pritzker's on there. Regular people have decided to start buying Gavin Newsom bets because I don't even know if they genuinely believe. I think the numbers reflect perfectly. I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't know if it's going to be Newsom, but I'll put some money down. It's sure. A value bet, right? The general idea is there is, in the back of people's minds, a decent probabilities chance that Joe Biden will not be the nominee and Gavin Newsom will be. So you were mentioning just a moment ago about the cocktail of drugs they have to give Joe Biden to make sure he functions right. And I want to shout out one of the best jokes I've heard in a long time. I forgot. I don't know who to credit for it, but they said CNN announced the debate between Trump and Biden, and the response was, "We were about to see the Manhattan Project of psychoactive stimulants."
Yeah.
This is going to be. Yeah, he's going to be on modafinil, Adderall. They're gonna cook something up. He's going to have like 12 cups of coffee. He's going to have like Red Bull Gold serum just wired into his veins.
I bet it's something really proprietary and really interesting.
What if he just comes out and he's like $1 million? He's just like, his teeth are staying in.
Stem cell therapy. Stem cell therapy, probably something else.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if, and I mean this is serious. I'm not joking anymore. He's going to be asleep early and for most of the day.
Yep.
And then about 1 hour before the debate, they will hook him up to an IV, which will have probably painkillers of some sort, caffeine, probably, I would not be surprised if it was modafinil and Adderall and a vitamin drip, just a cocktail, like you're saying. IV drip cocktail right before the debate. By the time he's getting out of the car and walking in, he feels like he's 68 again.
I did the vitamin thing before the national convention.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's hugely helpful.
And we've seen pictures of Joe Biden. They've had pictures of him in the press where you can see a mark on his hand that looks like an IV mark.
Yeah.
No, it's not surprising. I mean, people get IVs all the time.
NAD+, that's a good one.
Oh, dude, this guy, they got to be giving him stem cells.
I think so. I've had stem cell therapy, and it makes you like mildly euphoric, and you feel amazing for the first week after. So that's just the pleb version that I get. Who knows what he's getting?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it is, if you just go back, if you look at, as I'm sure lots of us have, but if you look at like video of Joe Biden talking in, say, 2012, as vice president, versus like 2020, I mean, it's like a very like the fall off is very real. And this was one of the major things when he started running for president. Because, you know, he had been out for 4 years and he hadn't been like super involved in the political scene. And when he kind of came out like he's running again, this like right before COVID in 2019, people were like, whoa, this guy has really lost a step since then. Now, add to that he's been president for 4 years. He's had a much more stressful, you know, like kind of vigorous schedule. And we've also watched a serious decline since then. He's not as sharp as he was in 2020. And look, just being able to walk up on stage and yell out the words that are on a teleprompter is a much different skill than dealing with Donald Trump. And look, to his credit, I guess, he did all right against Donald Trump in the debates in 2020. But can he pull that off again? I think it's a big question mark that, like, there's at least a reasonable chance that he does so poorly that the Democrats have no other option than to pull him out and put someone else in.
The pit trap they're setting for Trump is that Biden is probably going to hammer criminal and civil cases, and Trump will take the bait and be like, it's about me and what you're doing to me and me.
Yep.
What Trump needs to do is just say, oh, that's great, Joe. Talk about something Americans don't care about. Let's talk about gas prices. Let's talk about the cost of bread, milk, and eggs. Joe, can you talk to me about what's the price of gas right now? If Trump said, okay, Joe, I get it. You want to call me a convicted felon for all that. How much does a carton of eggs cost? I'll wait.
That's a good strategy. Ooh. I'm not sure. I don't know how coachable Donald Trump is. You guys both know him better than me.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying he's the type of guy that, for better or worse, and there's positives and negatives to it. But I do think Donald Trump, he's largely animated by his sense of self. That is a big deal to Donald Trump. And I don't know that he has the ability to police what he says and what he doesn't say. It's part of his charm. It's part of the thing that people love about Donald Trump. He's not, a lot of people in the corporate media, they give Donald Trump, a hard time because they're like, he lies. And we'll count all of his lies, but his lies are always something like, I had the biggest crowd. Right. And they'll be like, well, Obama's crowd was bigger. And he's like, I had the biggest. You kind of get what he's doing. But in a different way, Donald Trump is profoundly honest.
Oh, I love it.
In a way that other politicians aren't, because he can't hold anything back. He always says what he's thinking. So you always know what he's thinking.
When I will always cite this, and I want everyone to hear it because not everybody hears it every time. When he was president and he's at the White House lawn or whatever, the helicopter's going, and he's like, it's really great. We're selling all these weapons to Saudi Arabia. It's great for the economy. We're going to give them more weapons. And then all the anti-war left, their jaws at the floor, and they're like, he just admitted it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just came right out and said, this is what we do. Remember that time that journalist was like, he tweeted, he's like, I've been working on this story for 2 years, and Trump just says it. He just comes out and says it. Like, there was some story about something Trump was working on, and this guy was like, oh, I got a big scoop here, and he's interviewing source, and then Trump comes out and he goes, oh yeah, we're doing this thing, by the way. And they're like, wow. The Intercept called him the most dishonest and the most honest president we've ever had.
It's a good way to put it.
Because he lies about the stupidest things. Like you mentioned, my crowd was so big, it was the biggest, everyone agrees. And they're like, no, they don't. Well, everybody, that's what I was told. And then he comes out and says, oh, by the way, we got troops in Syria. They're guarding the oil. And you're like, we do? When did that happen? Well, here we are now. I love it.
He's in the lead.
Like I've said this before, like I'd take a Vivek Ramaswamy or a Dave Smith presidency if it was a viable option. But like it's not, and so
that's not what I delivered to you.
Come on, Angela, get it together.
That's not in my plan.
No, like Dave, even if you ended up as the nominee Libertarian Party, like no disrespect, you're not winning. No. Trump actually has done net positive things as far as I'm concerned with what a president does. And I didn't vote for him in 2016, but I voted for him in 2020 because I was shocked to find he's the first president to actually start reversing the policies of this militaristic hegemonic expansionism. And the North Korea thing was huge to me. Like when I saw Trump do that, I nearly cried. I was like...
Well, look, I mean, the issue is, and I get what you're saying, the issue with Trump is that if the goal here is to drain the swamp, look, to your point, right, about, there's lots of great people. It's just me or Vivek as an example, but there's better people than me for sure, but they don't have a viable path to winning. And the reason why Donald Trump actually had a viable path to essentially be a third party candidate who won within one of the major two parties, which he really was. Yeah. He ran as a repudiation of the Bushes as much as the Clintons and the Obamas. Part of that was because he was the most famous person. He was the richest. He was the brashest.
He had the biggest crowd.
But I mean, it was this incredible mixture of things that if you didn't have all of that, you wouldn't have been able to win. But the problem is that in order to actually drain the swamp or actually like save this crumbling empire that we're living in, you also have to go in with a team of people. You have to have the correct appointments at every single important position. And it's still an uphill battle. I mean, that's not like a guarantee that you'll drain the swamp. And so the problem with Donald Trump is like, look, yeah, he had the correct instinct. Go meet with Kim Jong-un. Go sit down with him. Let's make deals. But who'd he put at the table with him? John Bolton.
He said, I'm going to ask for Bolton's advice.
Totally tanked the whole thing. And of course he was going to. That's what he was there to do. Like John Bolton's there to make war, not peace, you know? And so what I What I would like to see, I love that Donald Trump said he's going to put a libertarian in his cabinet. What I'd like to see is more indications that he gets who the right people are and who they aren't.
To that end, what libertarian do you want to see in the cabinet?
I mean, I've got a list. I'm kind of holding it close to my chest right now.
Well, reveal it to us all here on air.
So that it doesn't get all messed up. But the offer does seem quite sincere. We've been
what position in the cabinet would you like to see a libertarian in?
Well, the softball position is Department of Education. I mean, that's one that we've discussed. It's one he said that he'd abolish. And that language has been consistent now for like 6 or 7 months. Mm-hmm. They seem dead serious on it. And while it's not Secretary of State, and that seems like it's promised to, maybe to someone else already.
I think still Pompeo, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Well, I hope that no is right. Jeez.
No. That's a no, dog.
All right.
But Department of Education is really critical. Because we may not see it immediately, but 18 to 25 years, they're going to turn off all the little NPC switches and we'll have better people.
And I think that makes a lot of sense because the Republican administration, the conservative base, completely overlap with the libertarian view of the Department of Education. Yep. Dismantle it.
Yes.
For different reasons. Some reasons overlap for sure. The libertarians are like, if you gave us the keys, we dismantle all of it. But if you give us the keys, this one, we'll dismantle it. And the conservative base and the Republicans are like, this has become destructive to its ends and should be destroyed and shut down.
So that's a really good partnership for us.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.